Hey guys, welcome to Living Satisfied. Today I'm going to be talking about gestational diabetes and tips that I kind of gained during my experience with having gestational diabetes. So tip number one is just to remember that it's not necessarily your fault. So I am a holistic nutritionist. I have a pretty balanced diet. Obviously I'm not perfect, but when I got gestational diabetes, it felt like someone punched me in the face, because I was like, I'm a nutritionist. Like, I cannot believe that I got gestational diabetes. Like, I'm doing things well. Like, I don't understand. But it's important to remember that gestational diabetes, while yes, your diet and lifestyle has a big impact on it, it's very hormonal based. So just because you're doing everything right doesn't mean that you're not gonna get it. And so it's important just to like take a deep breath. It's all right. Let's just move forward and do the best that you can for your baby, because it is a serious diagnosis and you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself appropriately. My second tip, which is something that they'll probably have you do anyways, but to keep a food journal for an extended period of time. So after I think about a month, they stopped having me like write down like all that I was eating and just said, okay, here are my numbers for, you know, after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, those kind of things. But I kept keeping a journal of my food intake because I found that I would see patterns in my diet. So if I found that like, okay, this week I kept having high blood sugars after like these couple times, but really it was after I ate these certain items, then I was able to eliminate those items and my blood sugar would be a lot more regulated. An example of that would be lentil soup. So lentil soup is healthy for you in a normal sense, but it is higher on carbohydrates. So for me, even if I had the proper portion of it, my body just didn't like it. I always had a spike in blood sugar after I had lentil soup, even if I had it with some vegetables and protein alongside. And so I eventually just eliminated it from my diet, and it helped a lot in keeping my blood sugars regulated. Another example would be breakfast time. So for me, I really had to eliminate any like fruit or really like much carbohydrates in general, or keep the carbohydrate level very small, because you're more insulin resistant in the mornings. And so it's important to really stick with like higher proteins. If you can get some vegetables in there, that's a really good idea. And if you can do fruit and your body doesn't have a spike in blood sugar, that's great, but stick more with like the proteins. So my next tip is to kind of keep under control your temptation for sweets while still having sweets. So it's okay to like have the sweet items like chocolate and ice cream and things like that, but you just need smaller quantities of them. So you can still enjoy them, but you need to limit how much you have. And so for me, a lot of times I would want them like after dinner, but after dinner was a time that my blood sugars tended to be more high. And so I needed to do it, you know, earlier in the day, like in the afternoons when my blood sugars would be more regulated. And so it's a really good practice anyways, because you're more prone to type 2 diabetes if you have gestational diabetes. So it's good to kind of get those habits going when you are in the practice. So my last tip would be to continue to take your blood sugar after you have your baby. So typically almost as soon as you have your baby, your blood sugars will regulate again, but it's important for the next couple of weeks to kind of keep track of your blood sugars and not be like binging on a bunch of carbohydrates just because your blood sugar is like back to normal, because again, you are prone to type 2 diabetes. So it's good to kind of keep those practices of lowering your carbohydrate count and being more thoughtful about what you're putting into your body. And for some people, gestational diabetes doesn't necessarily go away. And so it's important to kind of keep that lifestyle going. And lastly, if you want to get pregnant again, you most likely will get gestational diabetes again. And so it's really important to kind of keep those habits going, and so that for the next pregnancy, you are in a good spot. So those are all the tips that I have for you today. I don't know if it was helpful at all, but write down in the comments some of your tips that you kind of used when you had gestational diabetes. It was a really hard thing for me to deal with, but I'm actually really happy because I felt like I had a healthier pregnancy overall, because I was really able to manage what I was eating and making choices that were for my baby. And I was able to manage my gestational diabetes solely through food and diet and lifestyle. So I didn't have to take medications, which I was really happy about. And I just lost a son. But I know that with my next pregnancies coming whenever in the future, that I'll probably end up having gestational diabetes again. And so I want to make sure that I'm set up well for the next time. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's not a death sentence to get gestational diabetes. It's okay. I have it and I'm a nutritionist by trade. Like, I get it. It's really tough. If you guys need any like suggestions, write them down in the comments, or if you would like to become a client of mine, you can go ahead and go over my Living Satisfied page, and I would love to do a consultation with you. I can do a free consultation, a free initial consultation, and then if you want to move forward, we can do that. And so feel free to ask any questions that you guys have down below, and I would be happy to answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Press the subscribe button right down below if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.